Welcome to Kóryos, Youth and Life Purpose, a podcast for young people searching for meaning, connection, and a deeper understanding of life. I'm Nilo, and together we'll explore Indo-European spirituality and personal growth. In a world where many feel lost, this podcast is a place to rediscover purpose and a natural lifestyle. Whether you're just beginning your journey or looking to deepen your practice, Kóryos is here to guide and inspire. Let's walk this path together. Welcome to Kóryos. Today we're going to talk about something very essential. Something that has been mostly forgotten in our modern world. We're talking about ancestors. We're talking about your family tree and your roots. And now you might be wondering, what does my grandfather or my great-grandmother have to do with my spirituality? And the answer is everything. In Indo-European spirituality, we are not seen as isolated individuals. We are a link in a chain, a living continuation of those who came before us. Your blood remembers, and your bone, they carry stories. And to truly get to know yourself, to walk your path with strength and clarity, you need to know where you come from. Why, you might ask? Well, it's because without roots, it's easy to feel lost. When the world feels chaotic or confusing, your connection to those who came before you can give you a kind of inner anchor. It can give you a deeper sense of who you are and where you belong. Remember that you're not starting from zero. You're part of something bigger. All your questions, your talents, and even your struggles, they didn't come out of nowhere. By learning about your roots, you tap into wisdom that's been passed down through generations in your family. And it's not just about history, it's about identity. Many young people ask themselves, who am I? Why do I feel the way I do? And what am I here for? Sometimes the guidance we need isn't found in books or on the screen on the internet. It lives in the memories, traditions, and stories passed down through our families. Maybe your grandmother was quiet and deeply connected to the forest, and you've always felt most at peace in the woods. Or maybe your great-grandfather was a stubborn craftsman who built things with his hands, and you've always had the urge to create. Things like this isn't just a coincidence. It's inheritance. And it's a spiritual thread waiting to be seen and honored. So, what can you do with this? You start by listening. You start by asking questions. Talk to your family if you can. You pay attention to what calls to you, what feels familiar in an unexplainable way. You let your roots guide you, not to trap you in the past, but to give you strength for the future. Knowing your inheritance isn't about copying your ancestors. It's about continuing their story in your own way. And it's about remembering that you don't have to figure out everything from scratch. You already carry part of the answer inside of you. Let me give you a personal example. For as long as I can remember, I felt drawn to horses. I couldn't really explain why, I just knew that I wanted to be around them. I dreamed of learning to ride, of building a bond with a horse. And it wasn't until my late teens that I finally decided to take that desire seriously and start riding lessons. But the question lingered. Where did this strong connection come from? And one day I sat down with my grandfather and asked about our family history. And that's when I learned something that it made everything click. Several people in my South German lineage had worked closely with horses. Some were even part of the cavalry. And on my father's side too, I discovered relatives who had deep connections to horses and considered them a central part of their lives. And suddenly, it all made sense. This longing wasn't random. It was part of my heritage, a living thread passed down for generations that had quietly found its way to me. And here's something simple that you can do. Talk to your family, call your grandmother, visit your uncle, ask your dad about his childhood. Ask things like, what was your life when you were young? What challenges did you face? What lessons have you learned? And what was your mother or father like? But most importantly, listen, not with judgment, not just for facts, but with your heart. You may be surprised at what you can find. And when you hear their stories, when you feel their lives through their words, something awakens in you. Gratitude. Not the forced kind, but a genuine sense of wonder. The feeling, I'm here because they lived, struggled, survived. And that feeling is very sacred. It humbles you and it grounds you, and it connects you to the great river of life that flows behind you and through you. And when I talk about all of this, I'm speaking from personal experience. You listening to this right now might be in the same place I was in a few years ago. Maybe you're feeling a bit lost, overwhelmed by all the choices, all the pressure, and all the paths laid out in front of you in this modern world. And trust me when I say this, I was there too. But I found a sense of grounding and strength in discovering my identity. Not in a nationality or a flag, but in who I truly am and where I come from, in my ancestors, in their struggles, their stories, and their sacrifices. At that point in my life, my grandfather was the only grandparent I had left. So spending time with him, listening to his life story, who he was, where he came from, became something deeply meaningful to me. It helped me understand myself in a way no textbook or online search ever could. So if you're searching for answers within yourself, if you feel like there are pieces missing in your life, those answers might live in the stories of your relatives. You may have ancestors who lived hard lives, who made sacrifices so that you could be here, breathing in this moment. And even if their stories are difficult to hear, even if they hold pain, struggle, or silence, they are a vital part of what shaped you. And understanding where you come from isn't always easy, but it's essential. It can help you make sense of both your strengths and your struggles, and offer you a deeper kind of clarity and guidance. And when you tell their stories to someone else, when you say their names, remember their faces, or light a candle in their honor, you are doing something very powerful. You are keeping their spirit alive. You are offering something, not with fire or incense, but with memory, with reverence, and with love. And this is also Indo-European spirituality. Simple, deep, and real. It's about reconnecting to your roots and walking forward with them behind you. So here's something you can do today after you listen to this. Call a grandparent. Ask your mom about her childhood. Write down a memory someone shares with you. Say the name of a family member who has passed out loud. And this is just one step, because when you honor your ancestors, you begin to understand yourself. And that is where your spiritual journey truly begins. In Indo-European spirituality, there is a deeply rooted, vital part of the journey of self-understanding. And for many, this is a lifelong process, a path of discovery that unfolds gradually, revealing new layers of who they truly are. And to understand yourself fully, to meet your own strengths and weaknesses with honesty, is not just a personal goal. It is a necessary foundation for being able to help others, to support your community, and to contribute meaningfully to positive change in the world around you. And this balance between self-knowledge and service to others is at heart of Indo-European spirituality. It teaches that your spiritual growth is intertwined with your ability to connect, to heal, and to build something greater than yourself, rooted in both your inner truth and your ancestral heritage. So thank you for listening. Until next time, remember, you're not starting from nothing. You're continuing something ancient, and that is sacred. Thank you.